So if you were to go to the DSM, or the diagnostic manual that is used to determine narcissists, and look through the literature around how can you tell if a person's a narcissist, you would come up with these 18 criteria. You don't have to meet all 18, but you got to meet at least half of them, okay? So here we go. A narcissist, if you don't know what a narcissist, where it comes from, let me quickly give you the backstory. It comes from a Greek myth. So back in a long time ago in Greece, before there were ever mirrors, you never saw a reflection of yourself. And so one day, this guy named Narcissus, he goes out to get a drink of water at the pond. And it's nice and calm that day, and the sun's shining just right, and he looks into the pond to get a drink of water, and he sees his reflection. And he goes, that is the handsomest guy I've ever seen in my life. I fall in love with you. I'm coming back every day just to look at myself and admire myself and how beautiful I am. That's where narcissism came from. That's the idea. Okay, so number one, they believe they are special and unique, which means they think they're a little bit better than everybody else. But the reason we say they think they're special is they think they can only be understood by special people. So what that means is if you call them on your stuff, they have a comeback that says, you don't get me because you're not special. Only the right people understand my greatness. So they have that system in their mind. Second thing, deep down, they may not say it, they might say it, but they do believe they are more important than other people. That they're smarter, more capable, better in every category almost. Next, they exaggerate their achievements. So they didn't just catch a fish this big, they catch a fish this big, right? So you get that kind of exaggeration that takes place. And they expect to be recognized by you as being better than you. So they expect you to look up to them and kind of adore them and stand in awe of how great they are. In their private fantasy mind, they have fantasies about how powerful they are and how powerful they're going to be and how successful they are and how attractive they are. And they can sometimes play in their mind, that person said hi to me today. They must be in love with me. And they can just start playing with that in their mind and developing a fantasy that everybody loves them because everybody said hi to them. And that's where they go. Like I said, they have an insatiable appetite for attention, praise, and admiration. They always are looking for a pat on the back, for validation. Now, I'm not saying you should never give people a pat on the back, because we should. That's part of being healthy. You validate people on what they're doing. A narcissist just wants it constantly. They're always looking for it. And then in their own mind, they think everybody's jealous of them. They think everybody wishes they could be like them. And that, again, is in their own deluded fantasies. A key thing to understand about narcissists is they're all about image. So they don't feel good enough inside, but they'll never admit that. So they base all of their value on their image. So their focus is looking good, okay? So they do that through a couple things. They associate with a high status person. So if you're a very good-looking woman and you've been with a narcissist, at some point you've wondered, I think I'm just a trophy on his arm. That he wants me on his arm because I make him look good. He doesn't really care about me. He just cares that I make him look better than if he didn't have me. So that's what narcissists do. And then if it's not a woman, then they want to say, I know the president of this, and I know the president of that, and they drop names, and they try to hang out and go for coffee with very influential people because it makes them look good, okay? Then They try to control how you think about them. So if they do something that maybe wasn't appropriate, they now will send you emails to explain away what they did and to tell you what you should conclude about them. So they put a lot of energy into managing their image and trying to control how other people think of them. Then arrogance, or their nose is a little bit in the air, a bit of snobbishness is there. Now, if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you understand this next one. They must never be wrong. Because their image says they always have to be right. So if you are in a conflict with a narcissist, they will never admit they're wrong, but rather they will take what happened and twist it to make you wrong. And they will take what you say and twist it to make you wrong. So what I say to people, don't argue with a narcissist, because the more you try to convince them of your truth, the more they're going to twist what you say and use it against you. Because they must never be wrong. And then, at first, a narcissist can act very caring, but as their true colors come out, you find they don't really have much empathy or care for other people's needs or feelings at all. Rather, it's all about me causes them to feel very entitled. That you owe me special treatment. You have to meet all of my needs. I don't have to meet any of your needs. So a relationship with a narcissist is never giving 50-50. It's always lopsided. You're doing the majority of the giving, they're doing all the getting. And that is their sense of entitlement. Then they don't think rules apply to them. So they live by a double standard. Rules apply to you, but not to me. I can go through your phone, you can't go through mine. So rules don't apply to them. They're the exception in their mind to every rule. What I mean by they're exploitive of others is this. Narcissists are all about manipulating you to meet their needs. Narcissists don't know how to love people, they just know how to use people. Now, in their minds, they're being loving because they're giving, they're kind in the early days. But what they're really doing is grooming you. They're giving to get. They're playing a long game where I'll give till I've got past their defenses and their guards, and they trust me, and then I'll get. So that is the manipulation that happens inside of a narcissist. Now, to help you understand that, when a person has a lot of shame deep down that they've never acknowledged, they're pretty sure that if people get to know them, nobody will ever want to meet their needs. So the only way they can get their needs met is not to express them, but to learn how to manipulate people to meet them. And so narcissists become master manipulators. They can get so good at manipulating, sometimes you're not even aware that they're manipulating you. Usually there's always a hidden agenda that's happening when you're working with a narcissist. And when you first meet a narcissist and they say, tell me about yourself, and you pour out your heart and tell them everything about yourself, guess what they're doing? They're taking notes. Oh yeah, here's where I can manipulate them. I got their hot button. Now I know what to use if I want to get something badly. They're taking notes on you. They must feel control, and they must always get what they want. Now, this is important to understand from this perspective. Narcissists can be the sweetest, nicest people in the world 99% of the time until they don't get what they want. And then you got World War III. They explode, and there is hell to pay to anybody who has crossed them. So what I'm saying is this. Narcissists can act very healthy until they're triggered. And it's those triggers that reveal their true colors. They can no longer hide their deeper stuff once they get triggered. The masks come away and they come out. So some of the main triggers for a narcissist are perceived rejection. So if you reject them or say no to them, watch out. Not getting what they want, not getting enough attention. You're not feeding me enough, or anything that messes with their image. So what happens if they don't get what they want or they get triggered? Usually they go to anger, and then they get cruel, abusive, they lash out, they say extremely hurtful things, and they can be very destructive. Just that one trigger can set off a whole lot of painful things, and they can do that and not even have a conscience about it. So you often don't know a person's a narcissist until one of their triggers get triggered, and then their true colors will come out. Another characteristic of a narcissist, because they always have to be fed, is they have a lot of jealousy issues. What happens in an extreme narcissist is this: if you're in a relationship with them, the only way they can be convinced that they're the son of the universe is that there's nobody else in the universe but you. So they get rid of all your friends, they get rid of your family, and they demand your full attention. And they're jealous if you talk to anybody else, if you go to an activity somewhere without them. Jealousy kicks in, and they get really cruel when jealousy kicks in, and their control issues go up a notch. Extreme sensitivity and a tendency to be easily hurt, to feel rejected over the slightest little things. So if you're with a healthy person, it takes a lot to really make them feel hurt by something that you might do. A narcissist, they feel hurt when you've hardly done anything, because they pick up hurt easily because of all of their shame issues. But then as soon as they feel hurt, guess whose fault it is? It's not their issues, it's yours, and they think you're just selfish. Okay? And then they need a mirror. They need that constant reflection.